In my last two videos about Frontier Wargaming, you saw their Paint Case 2.0. In this video, you get to see their paint chest. My name is Jacob and you're watching Must Contain Minis. Before exploring the new paint chest, let's take a look at my old setup. Here's my workstation. Projects all over the place, lots of tools, and a fixed amount of workspace. Somehow, I still end up using it all. The hybrid setup that I have here is between Hobby Zone, IKEA, and Frontier Wargaming. It looks beautiful in my opinion. Hobby Zone made the white MDF paint drawers and racks on this desk. Their work is fantastic as it is beautiful, aesthetically pleasing, and functional. It also takes up a lot of space and I have a lot of paint now. I'm finding that the space on the right is a little bit restrictive for my arms while I'm working on projects. It's time to change that. Frontier Wargaming makes the paint case in the middle here. It looks so sharp with my logo on it. It is portable and packs in a ton of paint. Looking at my desk, I thought of different ways that I could organize what I have, but I feel that the setup I have already is optimal. I decided to look again at Hobby Zone and Frontier Wargaming to see if they had any options that would suit my space and my ever-growing collection of paints. After a lot of thought, and some measurements too, I chose to try a paint chest by Frontier Wargaming. I reached out to Frontier Wargaming and let them know about this project of mine. Not only did they send me a paint chest to review, they also sent me a promo code that you can use to save some money if you choose to buy one of these. That code is MCM. Now, let's start the transformation of my workspace. The folks at Frontier Wargaming loaded it up with options for me. I asked for enough transport trays to transform their Paint Case 2.0 into an army transport case for magnetized miniatures. For now, check out the size difference between these two cases. The paint chest is over twice the size of the Paint Case 2.0. Here you see the engraving job that they did on my paint case and the paint chest. They really worked well going back and forth with me, so I got the logo that I want engraved the way I wanted on the front of the case. This time I asked them to engrave the back too, which they did. My next step is to start removing parts from my old workstation to make this paint chest fit. The case fits my old area near perfectly. This is the power of pre-measuring. Now I did consider if I wanted to set the case up in an L configuration or straight against one wall. I decided with straight. I apologize as I'm going to include some shaky cam work in this video. Camera in one hand, paint chest drawers in the other. Let's take a look at the toolboxes. There are dividers here that you can choose to use or not use. We'll look at them closer later. I ordered lots of drawers or trays depending on how you think of them. Many of these are magnetic trays to use in the other case. I also have a number of paint trays, some miniature holders, and even a new wet palette too. Look at this collection. All of those items could fit in that case. The standard loadout from Frontier Wargaming comes with 8 paint drawers, which can hold 256 dropper bottles of paint or 144 Citadel paints, 2 toolboxes, and 2 sets of 5 miniature holders. On top of that, there's even a detachable handle. So I put these boxes aside and then began to organize my belongings from my original setup. First up, transferring the paints and tools from my Paint Case 2.0. This part is super easy. Everything is compatible. What I could use on the original case, I could use with the paint chest. The paints I'm actually going to transfer over just like this. I don't even have to do anything with them. The trays fit perfectly in both cases. These magnetic trays I'm going to use to transport miniatures. If you magnetize your miniatures already, these will work well. In the trays they go, just like that. You could place them one on top of the other and fit 12 trays in there. I ordered a set of 6 of these trays. They're going to be nice to transport my miniatures from home to the store and back again. Looks like the lamp from the Paint Case 2.0 also fits the paint chest, and it also goes inside the paint chest too. I wasn't expecting that. Now I'm going to transfer over some more paint. Let's get all of these trays ready. I didn't order any extra paint trays, but I did already have a few from my original Paint Case 2.0. One thing that I wanted to see was if my vortex mixer would fit inside a paint tray. It does not. I'm not sure if you use one of these, but it makes it so much easier to shake up your army painter paints. There will be a link in the description below. Having tested to see if the paint shaker fits in there, I decided to check out the toolboxes. They fit together like so if you want to use the dividers. You don't have to, but as an option if you want. The fit of these dividers is very snug. I use mine without glue. Let's see how much we can fit in one of these toolboxes. I feel like there's a lot of wasted space here. Let's start with those paintbrushes. In they all go. There is lots of space in there for these and even more. Close up the lid and into the paint station they go. Now I toss my glue into one paint tray. Next up, I open another toolbox, take out the dividers, and this time place all of my modeling tools in there. I actually have some dental tools in there that I picked up from an army surplus store that I use for sculpting. Add in a few pairs of tweezers, some drill bits, and a few other things, and all of my tools are in there and ready for storage. In they go. Now I bring up one of my Hobby Zone drawer units. I am fully underutilizing these drawers. I set aside my super glue and toss it in with the plastic glue already in a different tray. Looks like I have some magnets and hobby supplies in this drawer. They are going to go into another toolbox. Looks like it'll mostly fit within the dividers. Now it goes into the paint chest too.
Target locked and ready. Mission accomplished.
Those will end up in my paint chest. Let's grab that toolbox again with the magnets. In the decals go. Lid on and away they go. Now I have 3 more drawers to transfer. Looks like I'm underutilizing these too. Bottom drawer is empty. Middle drawer has bits in it. The top drawer has some tools in there too. The toothbrush is actually for cleaning models, not teeth. Those will go in my toolboxes, while the bits will find a new home. Next up, the corner unit drawers. I use this one a lot. Elastic and clamps for building terrain, some more glue in the middle, and the other 2 drawers contain some spare paint that I could not fit into the top racks of my Hobby Zone setup. So I make a toolbox of items just for terrain building. Clamps and elastics make building MDF kits much easier. Everything is fitting well so far. I pull out the other cases and put the tools and brushes that I found into the appropriate boxes. Now another big set of drawers. Guess what? I am underutilizing these too. 2 of the drawers are empty and one contains paint. This will be an easy transfer over. Now I transfer over the paints from one of my risers. I place the paints in the boxes according to paint brands. There are a couple of mission paints in there that I'm not sure how to fit in. I guess I'm going to have to split them up for now. This rack is empty now, so I can bring in another rack. The big corner unit this time. I really like this one, but let's condense it all into the paint chest. I tossed the last few in there and then remembered that I had some paints in a drawer that I had not put away yet. Now the unit is almost all set. I have a couple of spaces left over for my paint handles. Looks like you can't put them in the middle. They need to go onto a shelf as they have 2 half units rather than a full width tray. That's okay, I will just rearrange this a bit. Looks great so far. What do you think? Tell me in the comments below. Now let's test that light. This I asked for when I got my Paint Case 2.0. I'm not sure if it was made to be compatible with the paint chest. That said, it does attach. I figured that I might as well show you how it looks and how well it works. I believe the light coming out of this lamp is daylight temperature. It adds to the light you already have in the room. I generally use this lamp by Gamecraft Miniatures for painting. There will be a link to it in the description below. I have some photography lights in my room for this video shoot, so let me show you what it looks like with just the 2 paint lights on and the photography lights off. With the photography lights off, the 2 lamps do a good job illuminating the model. This model is from Conquest by Parabellum Games. With the Gamecraft Miniatures lamp off, the light is not very strong on its own. You will want additional light with it. That said, you could paint with only it if that is all you had. With the unit fully loaded, I closed the box. The box itself looks great. It has 2 handles. If you want a single hand strap, the product ships with that too. Loaded up, this box is extremely heavy. I needed 2 hands to pick it up. Now that it's all loaded, let's take the handle off and open it up. Look at that, beautiful. You can open it up just partially and work with it comfortably in a wedge configuration, but I'm going to open it fully and move it back into place. Now my entire setup has been condensed into one paint chest. Thank you Frontier Wargaming for sending this my way. In this video, you saw me reconfigure my space to a new setup that fully utilizes a paint chest by Frontier Wargaming. If you're interested in their products, check out their website and use the coupon code MCM. Don't earn commission from this, but it does give you $10 off American towards a paint case or a paint chest. There are details about that in the description below. There are also links to other products mentioned in this video. So what are my thoughts on the paint chest? I like the original Paint Case 2.0 so much that I asked Frontier Wargaming to replace my entire workstation with a paint chest. All the organizational products on my desk before the transformation were superb, but often you have to figure out what is best for your workspace and needs. As my paint collection grew, I outgrew my old setup. This paint chest holds everything that I own with a little bit of room for further expansion too. The older Paint Case 2.0 I can still give extra life to by using it as an army transport or by using the same drawers that I have in the paint chest, sliding them out from the paint chest and into the Paint Case 2.0. Either use of that case will be helpful when I finally go back to my friendly local gaming store to paint with others. The paint chest is also handy for those of you who don't have a permanent home for your paint collection. Now, while I'm going to be leaving mine out on my desk, this folds up nicely and you can move it around. That said, if you own a lot of paints and need a way to move them on and off the table, this is a fantastic product. Special thanks goes out to Highland Media for editing this video. If you're interested in a video editor, his contact details are in the description below. Until next time, happy gaming everyone.